Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Obviously, we've been in full election analysis mode, and one point that I keep bringing up is that it seems as though the Democrats are running out of talking points. What does the left have left? They certainly can't run on foreign policy. The Democrat Party is currently cannibalizing itself on that particular issue. They can't run on economics because Bidenomics has clearly failed. They certainly can't run on a hawkish border security message. They tried it on 2 weeks trying to flip the script on Donald Trump, which of course failed in spectacular fashion. There's really not much left to run on. And so the question is, well, what's left for the Democrats? Well, it's pretty obvious what's left after abortion up to 9 months and false promises of student debt relief. The only thing the Democrats have left is Orange Man Bad. Which, like I keep saying, that talking point had some potency from the 2017 to 2020 period, but nowadays, it just seems to be running out of steam. But the simple fact is, it's all they got. These people are so clearly desperate and flailing, and it's gotten to a point where it's become almost parody. It's become so pathetically, what's the right word? Let's just say weird. The old talking point was Orange Man Bad, democracy, protect our democracy, and that certainly didn't work, so I guess all that's left now is Orange Man is literally orange. That's gonna make sense in a minute here. Trust me when I tell you, I'm about to show you one of the craziest things you've ever seen on any news network ever. But before we get into any of it, this video is actually brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's play that clip. This video is brought to you guys by our friends at American Hartford Gold. Folks, we're facing uncertain times. It's been a real rocky 3 years. Politicians have a spending problem, printing endless trillions, then of course leaving you the tab in the form of inflation, the most insidious tax of all. The cost of goods and services continues to rise, and during times like this, one of the best ways to protect your hard-earned cash is by investing in physical assets. In this case, precious metals, gold and silver. That's where American Hartford Gold comes into play, the highest rated gold company in America, with gold prices through the roof once again hitting an all-time high, currently at almost $2,200 an ounce. Now's the time to give them a call. With one phone call, they could deliver physical gold and silver straight to your doorstep, or they'll have it delivered directly into your 401k or IRA. And best of all, you could take advantage of the current promotion, where you could receive up to $5,000 of free silver on qualifying first orders. All you need to do is call 844-440-1005. Again, that's 844-440-1005, or text Hivemind one word to 65532. That's 65532. As usual, a huge thank you to American Hartford Gold, always protecting us from the insidious tax of inflation. Alright folks, so let's take a look at the latest pro-Democrat, anti-Trump talking point.
You are sitting there in the jury pool, listening to the judge describe this case to you. Donald Trump is sitting at the defense table looking like this. Let's take that back down to a half screen of Donald Trump. Now, we normally don't allow Donald Trump to occupy your full television screen during this program. But for this one time, as you consider yourself sitting there on Monday in the position of a juror looking at him, let's look at what they will actually see without hearing a word from Donald Trump. And for that, we're going to go back to the full screen so you can take in what this man actually looks like now. Donald Trump is likely to be sitting there, as he is in this recent campaign videos. That's a picture of him when he's trying to look his absolute best in his campaign video, which in his mind includes a face partially covered in some form of homemade bronzer in which he always forgets the ears. He always forgets his ears are visible, showing the real color of Donald Trump in contrast to the mud brown that he has decided makes him look his best, and to some eyes actually makes him look like a horror movie character. That is not a face you want to present to a criminal jury whose job it is to concentrate on the evidence in the case. Those jurors will be listening to Judge Merchan's questions while having trouble fighting the urge to steal another peek at that profoundly strange-looking man sitting at the defense table, whose voice they will probably never hear in court.
Can I get a facepalm, please? What on God's green earth did I just watch? What was that? That's really what I'm sitting here questioning. What the frick is that? Donald Trump sitting in court. Oh, evil orange man. Looking orange with the bronzer. Look at the color of his ears. The color of his ears is different from the color of his face. Okay, what's that supposed to mean? And this, by the way, is coming from the same people who were so outraged at criticism of Barack Obama for wearing a tan suit, but now here they are obsessing over Donald Trump's aesthetic preferences as they push their vile anti-Trump propaganda. Don't focus on these bogus indictments. Don't focus on the fact that every jury pool in almost all of these Trump cases is completely tainted and partisan, which, by the way, Judge Tom Hogan, a DC District Court judge, recently essentially admitted.
So, but the internet has caused concerns, we'll talk about it perhaps later, and how you pick a jury. What are our juries going to do? There have been great concerns with the jury because the defendants all claim the juries in D.C. voted 99% for President Biden, 95% actually for President Biden, the citizens of D.C., and they think they can't get a fair trial. We have not had a problem with that until very recently. The first couple of years, the jury was not that involved in it. There were not any difficulties in whether they could be fair or not. In the last 6 months to a year, we've found it's much harder to get juries. There's more publicity, more things that were developed, and the political session is now in season, and they're now getting more difficult to be able to find a qualified jury that had not had prejudice against any of these defendants.
No, don't focus on any of that. Don't focus on the fact that Donald Trump is being indicted for what Joe Biden did, which the FBI and DOJ still can't give us a legitimate reason as to why he would be let off the hook, but Donald Trump is being pursued to the full extent of the law over holding documents that he had the legitimate right to be holding where Joe Biden didn't.
Are you aware, and this is breaking news right now, are you aware that there's an audio recording of Joe Biden saying to his ghostwriter in February of 2016, quote, "I just found all the classified stuff downstairs," end quote? Are you aware of that audio recording?
I would just respectfully refer you to the special counsel.
No, I'm asking you, are you aware as director of the FBI? You're either aware or you're not.
I'm aware. Am I aware of what now?
Whether the audio exists of Joe Biden saying in February 2017, quote, "I just found all the classified stuff downstairs," end quote, to his ghostwriter.
Again, I'm just going to refer to the special counsel and his testimony and his report.
It sounds like you might be aware of it then.
No, don't focus on any of that. Just focus on the orange man and the color of his skin and the fact that he likes to use bronzer and what that likely means for our democracy. You know, instantly what comes to mind in these situations is that we are not the same. Leftists are outraged by Donald Trump's bronzer, his mean tweets. They're outraged by his supposed anti-immigration talking points, which is really just common sense anti-illegal immigration talking points. You know, that's what they're outraged on. They're focused on everything that's superficial, everything that can be used and manipulated to stoke fear and to promote false outrage. But you know what I'm outraged by? I'm outraged by the human smuggling happening at the southern border. I'm outraged by the 100,000 plus Americans dying each year to overdose due to all the illegal substances being funneled into the nation by China and Mexico. I'm outraged by the uniparty federal agency weaponization, the lawfare takedown of their political opponent. I'm outraged by online censorship. And again, these three-letter agencies working behind the scenes with a lot of these social media companies to control the algorithms, control information, and ban certain speech that they find detrimental to their cause. I'm outraged by the systematic bankrupting of a nation, stacking untold, ungodly amounts of debt for the next generations to deal with, this constant irresponsible kicking the can down the road philosophy. That's what I'm outraged by. In other words, we are not the same, and that's it. That's the video.